With age comes wisdom, experience, and a whole lot of unexpected changes. Welcome to Dad Brain, where two best friends share their journeys through the ups and downs of their 30s. Get ready for the raw and honest realities of growing older. Here are your hosts, Matt K. and Matt L.
Welcome back to Dad Brain. We have an absolutely incredible guest today. But before we get to that, I just want to let everybody know that if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe at Dad Brain Pod on all of the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Matt, you're still posting on Facebook, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just checking. Just checking. I know you abandoned Twitter pretty early on there.
Fuck Twitter.
And if you're just listening to this like a bozo, make sure you leave a review, rate, and comment there as well. Just anything that helps, bring up Dad Brain to more people. But our guest today, we're so incredibly honored to have Jacoby Bruton, who is a Tampa, Florida-based comedian, podcaster, and content creator. Jacoby, welcome to Dad Brain.
Man, what's going on, man? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me, man. Jeez. I feel so special right now, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's great to have you. And I just want to give you a little bit of information how we actually found you.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and I think this Tampa scene really is starting to become something.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite comedy club right now is The Gimmick in downtown Tampa.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
I just love the feel of it. I took my dad there. He got hammered. It was a whole entire experience.
Oh my God.
I was going through who is The Gimmick following, because if my favorite comedy club is following individuals, then I want to have those people on my podcast, because that's what I can talk about. And sure enough, one of the people they were following was yourself.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so shout out to The Gimmick for bringing you into my world.
Thank you, man.
And then, after that, I just started exploring all the different things you're doing, right? The Level Up Fades podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Only 15 Minutes,
mm-hmm.
and you're currently on a stand-up comedy tour. So
yeah, man. Guy. Golly, and you guys hit me up so many times to get on a show, and I couldn't make it if I was working or if I was doing a show. And like, y'all had me at the right week where I was dying down. I didn't work. I had no shows. He's like, how about the 24th? I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's lock it in and let's just get it going. Because I don't know where I'm going to go next. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, man.
Awesome
Thank
how
you.
Busy you are. Like, I like that. When you were like, I'm busy, I'm like, man, this guy's got it going on. He's doing shows every fucking night, blowing up over here. And your 15 Minutes podcast, I'm so jealous of that. I wish we could do this podcast for my couch. I'm like, God damn, why do you have to be in Florida, Matt?
Plus,
man.
I love the free-flowing nature of the Only 15 Minutes podcast, because like you said in the intro of it, you're just talking about anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just the topics. I want our audience to check it out, but you were talking about just slapping a girl's titties. I mean, we're all dads here, but we've slapped some titties in our day.
Lately,
I'm
I just slapped my own titties to remember how.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh man, yeah, man. That's what I wanted to take, because I started with 2 podcasts before, but I wasn't consistent. It was too much energy draining to talk for an hour, for 30 minutes. And I said, I spend an hour on stage and I got to do an hour or 30 minutes on a podcast. I was like, no, I can't do it. So I stopped doing it. It was the JB podcast. I had 10 episodes and I just stopped. I was like, I'm done. I don't need podcasts, right? But when you see all this big podcast name, your Joe Rogan, your Andrew Schultz, your Charlemagne the God, is like, man, you got to have a podcast. Yeah. So I was just sitting down talking to my wife, and I said, I'm going to do a podcast. She's like, you tried that already. I was like, I don't like how you didn't support me. But anyways, and she was like, what are you going to do? I said, I just want to talk for 15 minutes. She's like, that's not a bad idea. What are you gonna name it? Only 15 minutes. What are you gonna talk about? Anything and everything that pops in my head. And I just love it. I record anywhere. If you want to record a coffee shop, we'll go to a coffee shop and we'll set up. We have lights, tripods, lavalier. We have it all. It's just one guy, and it's exhausting, dog. It's exhausting.
I love the concept of the quick podcast too, because there's only one other one I know of, which is Mike Rowe does one. And
Yes.
if you're like me, like to listen to a full podcast, I need to do it on my drive to and from work. Like I don't have to. So the 15-minute, I can do that like while I'm going through my notes at work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's a killer idea. It's a great concept.
Thank you, man.
We're
Appreciate
doing
it. Thank you.
The great thing about it too is you also have the Level Up Fades podcast.
Yes.
And then you have, I was listening to this episode on the way to the dentist today about anxiety and depression. And we just recorded an episode with a social worker, a therapist. And
oh, wow.
hearing so many of the things that you guys were discussing, the gentleman who you were interviewing, where, he was talking about how at one point in his life he was at a 2 out of 10. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like really going through those depressive episodes because of the things happening in his life related to his son. And it was really great to see the juxtaposition of the content that you're creating. Right? Like we can talk about slapping titties, or we can talk about anxiety and depression and how it's not addressed, right? Like that was one of the main things with your episode. I want our audience to check it out because it's great. Just that idea that it was not something that was addressed when you were growing up, right? Like people weren't calling out anxiety and depression. It seemed kind of like a new phenomenon.
Agree.
But yeah, Level Up Fades and the Only 15 Minutes podcast.
Yeah, Level Up Fades has been created with my homeboy. He owns a barbershop called Level Up Fades in South Tampa. And we've been friends for like over 20 years. We went to the same elementary school, high school. We kept in contact. And every time I would get a haircut from him, he will always mention about a podcast. And when you got friends that procrastinate, you tend to stay away from him. And he was one of them that will always tell me, hey, let's do a podcast. He's like, okay, when you want to start? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, talk to me later. And he kind of cornered me one night where I was getting a haircut. I was going out of town for a show. And he's like, I'm serious. Let's do it. So Level Up Phase podcast is a podcast that kind of shine his point of view. Because we did a Vlad approach. Because I didn't want to be on the camera. I wanted to just kind of shine you because this is your idea. I'm just the production guy, right? I'll bring the comedic style, but it's about your podcast. So let's grow together. My Only 15 Minutes doesn't stream over. Like we don't talk about the same thing. So it's a good concept. What you want to do is doing very well. I'm happy for the short months we've been doing it. Like we've been doing it for 3 months and 70 subscribers, almost 3,000 views on YouTube. So it's crazy on how powerful the podcast is, and I'm happy that we're doing it. So yeah, check it out, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about from the Level Up Phase podcast. That gentleman who you were interviewing, he was talking about the milestones that his child was hitting, and you were calling bullshit on all of them. He was like, yeah, he said his kid was walking at 4 months, I think it was. So I'm over here telling my 13-week-old to get her shit together. Hey girl, we need to step up here. I'm like standing her up, trying to strengthen her core. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, man, there was a lot of bullshit. I was like, come on, dog, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on,
don't fuck with parents like that.
Yeah, my daughter was running at 4 months. All right, man, get the hell out of here. I'm done. Cut the episode, dog. Oh man, that was funny.
So, when did you start doing comedy, and like, where did you get all that? Where did you find your inspiration from? When did you decide that, being a stand-up comedian was, for you? I mean, is that just like something you did like right out of high school? You just jumped into, you're like, I'm doing it.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to be honest on Dad Brain podcast. Okay. I never want to be a stand-up comic. I was dared to go on stage. I was 24. I lived on, I think it's the East Coast or West Coast. Cocoa Beach. Is that West Coast or East Coast of Florida? Because we're east, right? Okay. I lived in Cocoa Beach. I got offered to. So okay, let me give you the backstory. Let me summarize it. You know how you tell people like a long story short. All right, this is what it's going to. I got laid off by a job in St. Pete. He's worked for Jable Circuit. I was in the process to join the Air Force. Then my old boss that I used to work with, he hit me up. He said, I want you to be a manufacturing supervisor in Cocoa Beach. So I said, okay, now I'm serving my country. Let me go build LED lights. And that's what I did. So I moved from Tampa to Cocoa Beach. I was out there for like 4 months. My friend from Boston came and visited me because he saw I did a crazy post. I was drunk one night and I posed I was at Steak and Shake. As I'm turned up at Steak and Shake, he's like, "Oh man, you live in Cocoa Beach? I live there too." So this story's meant to be told, dog. So he came to my house the next day. He said, "Hey, I lived in Boston with my dad, and I was doing comedy for 3 years. I think you should do comedy." I said, "Comedy's not real. Nobody get paid doing comedy." He's like, "You sound stupid." I was like, "No, you're stupid for pursuing something that you don't get paid." He said, "How about this? Meet me at Florida Discount Music on A1A. Used to be called Open Mics. That was a great room back in the day." So I met him Tuesday night. From the night I saw them, which is Thursday, till Tuesday, I prepared myself for 5 minutes. I didn't know what I prepared, but I prepared myself for 5 minutes to hit the stage. I got there Tuesday night and I did great. And that was the birth of it. I don't know any. I'm not a comedian that could like recite your favorite quote or your favorite punchline. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. Right? There's a comment like, "Hey, you hear what Jerry Seinfeld?" Like, no, I don't. I never thought comedy was real. I was never a fan. I was never passionate about it. That night made me realize I could do comedy.
That's dope. On a dare. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, he called me. I don't know if I can curse. Can I curse? Like, what's the?
Yeah.
Okay, he called me a pussy. That's what triggered it. He called me a pussy. He's like, "I ain't no pussy. I'll go do it." That's my origin story.
I get up there and like have the mic in my hand, look at everyone and be like, "Yeah, I'm a pussy. I gotta go, guys."
So that's what happened. I never wanted to do comedy.
So if you look back on like that set, for instance, right, in your evolution, you said you weren't necessarily like you were a fan of comedy, but you didn't have like favorite comedians or anything like that. Like, it seems like a lot of the stuff that you post online is like crowd work.
Yeah.
So what is like, is the mix of like what your set is currently like a mix of crowd work with also like a prepared set, or like what does that mixture look like right now? Because I know you're in the middle of a tour.
The mixture is there is material that's related based on life experience. From growing up, from being Black and Korean. My mom is Korean, my dad's Black. Having stereotypes, growing up in a racist culture. I used to live in Germany, so I had experience in that. I got beat up by a girl in Germany over a swing set. So I got jokes about that. I got jokes about my kids. I got jokes about my mom and dad. I got jokes about my marriage life. Crowd work is because that's where the comedy culture is at now. A lot of comedians do crowd work. Yeah. So I had to jump on the trend, and I would prepare myself for a show. And I was like, I'm doing 3 minutes of crowd work. That 3 minutes, I could chop that up 10 seconds. That's a whole bunch of content. Then I will go into a material. Sometimes my crowd work sets me up to do my material. Right. But do I rely on crowd work? No. I go in there like focus, like G.I. Joe, like I'm doing crowd work for 3 minutes. I don't care. Then we do material. That's all you see is always crowd work, what I post, to lure the people in, to hear the laugh, like, dang, he's really fun. Let me go check him out. And you go check me out, like, oh, I just thought you just do crowd work. And I was like, nope, I got jokes. Like, yeah, you do. Nice seeing you. And they just walk away.
No, I like a lot of your bits. I don't want to call them self-deprecating, but they're definitely like, you can tell that it actually happened. You like, what is it? I don't want to say it because I want people to watch your shit. I don't want you to just come up here and do your bits, but you have that bit about how you're at a department store and some guy standing next to you. You're like, man, you smell really nice. And he's like, what are you wearing? And he goes, I'm not a fag. That's what I'm wearing. I'm like, and I can see like that happens like Lobin and I too. So
my God. And all my jokes are true stories. So that bit is at Walgreens. I reversed it to make it like I was a customer. I was a cashier. I used to work 2 jobs while picking up my daughter from Orlando. Me and her mother had joint custody. So I used to work on base as a vendor rep for Tyson Chicken. I would go get my daughter in Orlando. I would come home, sleep for a couple hours, take my daughter to my parents' house, and go to work. So these jokes have a lot of deep meanings to me because it was a tough time in my life going to court, fighting custody for my daughter. So when I was working at Walgreens, it was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift, and I'm dead tired. The guy walks in, and it was Gas Barilla. The guy smelled amazing. I was like, man, that guy smelled really good. I'm scanning the lady out, and he comes in, and he's like, how you doing, bro? I said, I'm good, man. He's like, can I ask you a question? He's like, what is that? I was like, what you got on? He's like, oh, it's Nautica. I said, man, you smell really good. It was really good. It was never delicious. The word delicious came from Bernie Mac from his stand-up. I was like, you know what? Delicious sounds amazing. So I took that little piece of his material, put into my bit, and it's one of my favorite jokes.
Yeah, it killed. I was laughing for like 15 minutes on Instagram.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so my material is always based on true story of what I go through or what happened.
Can I not to get too serious, and if it's too personal, don't worry about answering it, but
no.
We troll through all like the dad groups on like Facebook and stuff like that, and one thing we're commonly talking about is how it's always like they're getting divorced or something like that's going on. There's not a whole lot of happy stuff, and a lot of it's ridiculous too.
Yeah.
But you were talking about going through like custody battles and stuff like that. Was that, and you said it was a low point, but you fought through it because you're a good dad. Like you did what you had to do. I guess any tips for any of our listeners that might be going through that, or they're about to have a child with somebody that they're separating from, like just to how to keep your head up and keep plunging forward and, trucking through that.
This is probably gonna be emotional to me. If I get teary eyes, I apologize because it bothers me. I've been fighting custody to this very day. Like I'm still fighting custody with my daughter. My daughter's 10. To all the fathers that's going through a situation where custody is involved, you separated from your loved one, you're divorced, or even a girlfriend, you're going to go through hell and high water for your child. I'm not telling you it's going to be all right, but you got to stick it through. Have I been to a moment where I want to give up? From a suicide point? From a depression point? Sorry. It's tough. Sometimes I don't like to bring it up because I get my daughter every other week. The impact that you have on a child, you'll see it. Like you won't see it now, but you'll see it through all the shit you go through. You have to fight. Did I want her to walk away? Yeah. I want to walk away so many times. But you can't give up on your kids. They need you when you don't think they do. They absolutely need you.
Well, I mean, it's awesome that you're going through, not going through it, but you're going forward and you're putting that foot forward and you're fighting for that. And sorry to put you on the spot like that. I know that.
No, it's all good.
That's emotional to you, but that was that was big. And that if I didn't already have a good opinion about you, now I have an even better opinion about you because
thank you.
It's easy to quit. So
yeah.
And I think there's definitely something to be said for some of those dad groups where you were talking about on one of your podcasts, Jacoby, where people like at least males and fathers, like we keep a lot on the inside, right? So sometimes that outlet for that expression or for kind of those moments where like I just need to talk to somebody is through a podcast microphone, or through a Facebook group. Because so often as we're growing up, we're meant to like keep those emotions inside and right. Like you said, don't be a pussy. Like you need to, it's a real thing. I
agree.
We all experienced it, and it really is a bit of a detriment to you later in life when you don't face those things, right? But it's important just to point out like just how resilient you are after sharing that story. So I appreciate that.
And I mean, that's the namesake of the podcast kind of comes from that. It's Dad Brain. We came up with the name because we like Googled it or something like that. I don't really remember. I was kind of probably drinking a lot at the time. Definitely was drinking a lot more. And now that I've slowed that down, now that my child's coming in.
Yeah.
It was basically Dad Brain is your brain changes where all like the stuff that doesn't matter your brain loses that, and a part of your brain actually shrinks so that you can just focus on what's important. What's important is your children, and just being the best dad you can be and a provider. So
agreed.
I mean what you just said just summed all that up and proves that it's a real thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, could you just give us some background on your kids? How many kids do you have? Ages, and possibly a funny story or two that you have.
My household with my wife is a circus. I have two stepkids. My stepdaughter's 9, about to be 10, and my stepson is 4, about to be 5. My daughter, which she comes every other week during school year. I get her majority of spring and summer and winter break. She's 9, about to be 10, and we just had our son. Just yesterday. Our son is 8 months old, baby boy. So thank you. It's hard to be a step parent, right? I do a joke about it, where it sets up where I didn't like my stepkids, right? I'm just being honest, because I treat them like rental cars. You don't get insurance for rental cars, but you keep insurance for your car. So that's what I treat my kids like that, my stepkids. But we've been together for almost 3 years, and they kind of grown on me because their dad stepped out of their life. So I had to step in and be that male role model. But their dad has mental illness, which it flows on to my stepdaughter. Like, she been diagnosed with ADHD and depression. My stepson is autistic, and my daughter is dyslexic. So that means we are a circuit freak of a family. But it taught me a lot to be that male role model for them, to give them love equally. It was hard. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I didn't love my stepkids like, oh, I love you. No, I didn't care for them at a certain point, but because I was there on a discipline matter and an 11 matter and reassurance for them, they grew on me. Like, they had grown so much. They went through a lot of stuff this past summer with their dad. I have a joke about it. I don't really have a joke. I kind of let people aware that mental illness is a real thing, especially with kids and their trauma. They went through a lot with their dad this past summer. It builds characters. Like, you could be a dad, right, with your kids, but being a stepdad is a whole new ball game. Because they don't have the personality. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. God, I don't want to go on tangent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to stick.
No, I mean, you're right. When it's your kid, you're the dad just by biology. When it's your kids, you have to work to be, to train your brain to fill that role and stuff like that. And that's awesome that you're doing that. And there's nothing wrong with growing into it. I mean, you don't just instantly like other human beings. Like, you have to know people, and you know what I mean? Like that. I'm worried that when I have my son, because I've never met the kid before, right? I'm going to be like, you need to start talking before I know you're okay. Like, I need to see how your mind works. You could be arch enemies. I don't know. I might have just given birth to my nemesis here.
This is my origin story right here.
This is completely regional, but have you seen that Publix commercial with the stepdad?
Fuck no.
Where you've seen it, right? So
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's set it up, Matt. He's up in Michigan. They don't have Publix. He doesn't know what good grocery stores are.
Yeah. You got Kroger or something.
We got
So,
Kroger.
like, they're going through all these life experiences, and she keeps on calling him Chris. Like, oh, it's a birthday. Oh, it's Chris. Oh, it's her graduation. Thanks, Chris, for coming. And then it gets to her wedding day, and she calls him Dad. And I'm fucking bawling, dude.
I saw somebody posted it on Facebook and it ruined my day for a good 4 hours. I was just it broke the shell down. I hate that thing. It's really hard to watch that when you're on the can and then go be mean to people all day.
Funny.
Jacoby, let's talk about this 8-month-old that's newly entered your life here, man. You got your boy dad. Matt's about to be a boy dad here in November.
Oh my gosh, being a boy dad is better than a girl dad. I thought I was a girl dad when I had my daughter. But when I had my son, I was like, nah, I'm a boy dad.
Really?
I love him. When you have your son, Matt, you're gonna see a split image of who you are. Personality, looks, attitude, stubbornness, ego, all that. Like it's to look at my son, I'm happy every day. I put a smile on my face because he's gonna be a little shithead like me. And I'm so prepared that I gotta teach you how to navigate through this life. I love it, man. I want another one, but my wife said no. So I gotta probably poke a hole in the condo when we do it. I love it, man. I love being a dad. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
No, I'm excited. I keep telling my wife, I'm like, you're fucked because there's just gonna be another one running around. Push your button. That's like my favorite thing to do is push my wife's buttons too. Like if she's not pissed at me, I'm not having a good day. So like, I'm like, you're gonna, she hates it like when I fart in her direction. So like, I'm like, he's gonna be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna love it, bro. You're gonna love it.
So one thing we do talk about on Dad Brain is, we obviously celebrate fatherhood and everything, but we also talk about the other relationship in our life, right? And that's with our significant other. And we just always kind of bring up the fact that even though you have, children, it's still important to prioritize that relationship with your spouse. So how has that balance been kind of within your relationship? Have you learned anything new about your significant other as you've introduced, the 8-month-old and, the step kids? Like, just give the audience a little bit of an insight into that.
Oh man, I learned a lot from my spouse. My wife is a phenomenal woman. She has a lot of patience to deal with me. So I'm short temper. I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to if it's not my objective, I don't have patience for it. She taught me to be patient with the kids. She taught me to be patient with everything in life, and you got to balance it out because I'm always on the go. Like I work from home. I'm a project manager for a lighting company. I work part-time Dollar General. I do full-time stand-up comedy. I make content. I make podcasts, and I'm a dad.
Unreal.
Yeah, I don't know how you find time to do it.
I don't know how I do it either. But she's so patient with me. She understands. But she always know that when it comes to the kids are first. It's always about. Then also you got to sprinkle time for your significant other. So we'll try to have a date night once in a while, right? Our date night mostly is just chilling in bed, watching Love at the Locker because that's our favorite show. I love that. I love that show. Going to McDonald's and get a Coke. That's our quality time. But our quality time is most in the bedroom, just having conversation, just talking. And we'll plan for things to do like down the week when we don't have the kids or we got to find a babysitter. So you got to balance out. You'll put time in stuff that you love. So all my love goes to every avenue. It's challenging. It gets stressful sometimes, but we both balance each other out because she's a nurse. She do home care, so she's always on the go. She works roughly 5 to 6 days a week. I work from home. I watch the kids. I go take to school. I make content. I travel for my job. I travel for comedy. It's a challenge, but it's doable. You could definitely do it.
No, I mean, I know the burden that it is just to even like have a full-time job and to also be creating content, because I am the brains behind Dad Brain.
Whoa, no. You're the work ethic behind Dad Brain, all right? You're the work ethic behind Dad Brain.
Yeah.
Let's be. Don't be taking the whole brain. Because you're also the only dad too. So if you're the brains and the dad,
gotcha.
I'm sorry. I didn't expect to be fucking blitzkrieg like that. Sorry, guys. But like, Jacoby, you're a stand-up comedian. You have 2 podcasts. Like, the amount of content that you have to be creating, and I know how much time that takes away from like. There's many times where I'm sitting there editing a podcast that needs to be posted on Monday, on Sunday night, right? Like, that's my last thing before I go to bed, because that's when I could fit it in. And it's just because there's just so much power in it, right? Like, for the longest time, like, the only way people could actually get their brand out there and their message out there is, by paying absorbent amounts of money. But now it's all on the creator, right?
Agree.
And you had a quote in the Only 15 Minutes podcast about going viral, and I'm going to live by it. Do you remember what you said?
Oh my gosh, no, you got me there. Oh my gosh, no.
You can go viral 2 ways, either being dope or dumb.
Oh my gosh. God, you did your research.
That's right.
You did your fucking research. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my gosh, you guys are good.
I'm here to tell you, Jacoby, that I have used that as my mantra this week when it has come to content creation, because, when you start these initiatives, like, you're just kind of throwing things at the wall and seeing what will stick, right?
Agree. Yeah.
And sometimes something sticks and you spend more time trying to figure out, like, why did it work, right? And
yeah.
Replicate it. Do I do a video with no text on the screen? There's just so much with it. But yeah, just the time commitment to it all, and to see that your significant other supports you in all those endeavors, that's awesome. That needs to be celebrated. So
thank you. I love. Hey, babe. Okay, never mind. I love you. All right, there she is, right there. I was just saying, I'm on the podcast. I just want to say I love you.
Going on. It's funny. You get that from your wife. When we started this, my wife, like, I'd explained her the schedule because she would flush the upstairs toilet.
Yeah.
There's a shit pipe right there. So she would do that, and Matt would be like, "Is your wife taking a shit again?" And she's pregnant, so she's in the bathroom a lot. So it's like constantly flushing.
That's funny, dog.
But you get an I love you.
Bless you.
I get that.
Okay, come on. My stepson want to give me a hug.
Oh, that's good.
Come on, hurry up, man. I cuss him out a lot, too. I love cussing him out. I won't do that to my son. I'll do it to my stepson. Come on, man. Hey, love you, man. Good night.
We can put a blur up there.
Oh, man.
So, Jacoby, one thing that we also talk about on Dad Brain is kind of the supports that help a lot when we have children. And 2 years ago, I moved across the country. I'm originally from Michigan. That's Matt and I went to college together, fraternity.
Oh, what part of Michigan?
Ann Arbor area.
Oh, babe. What? They're from Michigan. Ann Arbor. She's from Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay. That's the good side of the state. The west side.
That's a good side of the state. Oh, her brother went to her college. What college? UMM? What she said.
We were adjacent to that. We were at in a nice little shitty town called Ypsilanti. We love it.
Ypsilanti. You know Ypsilanti? Oh, okay, yeah. All right, never mind. All right. We had a fat check.
You'd like Ypsilanti. There's a giant dick tower there.
Oh, really?
It's called the Brick Dick. It's hilarious. Look it up.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is there a brick dick, babe? Babe, is there a brick dick? Yeah, there's a brick dick. You see the brick dick?
You mean the dick rod?
Yeah, the dick. The big dick. Sorry, the big dick. Right? Brick dick. I know you go.
No.
Yeah, we done talking about dick. We good. All right. Yeah, she's seen the dick. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's seen the
Um, I think Matt's getting at though. I think what Matt's getting at is he's talking about support from parents and how he moved to Florida and how he's so lucky that even though he's away, his parents have been able to come down quite a bit, especially right after the birth of his daughter. And you kind of touched on that when you were working at like Walgreens and stuff like that, your stepdaughter would be with your mom. So it sounds like you've had a little bit of support there. How, just to let our viewers know, and we keep reiterating this, how important is that to have that support?
If you're doing it by yourself as a single dad or single mom, you got to have that support. You can't make it alone. You can't survive alone, especially with your parents. My mom was a huge impact to my daughter's life. She was always there for her. I remember a moment I couldn't buy her a crib. I've been times I couldn't buy formula. I couldn't buy diapers. My child support was $800 a month.
Holy shit.
That's significant for one kid.
Yeah.
I was paying back pay $10,000. Right?
Damn.
I'm working at Walgreens. I want people to understand. I was working at Walgreens, making $12 an hour. I'm throwing Tyson chicken. I get paid 35 cents a case, and I'm filing 1099. Still doing comedy.
Oh damn.
Right. So my vendor work was you work anytime. You work store closed to store open. My Walgreens was third shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. My mom and my dad helped me out tremendously. Picking up my daughter. I remember getting my daughter one time at daycare and I couldn't get her because her mom didn't put me on the list. I waited 45 minutes. I drove after 7 a.m. getting off of Walgreens to pick up my daughter. And I'm talking to my mom, my dad. They're encouraging me to keep going. When I'm tired, I'm exhausted. When you come here, bring it to the house. You can sleep. You need food. They were the backbone of a huge support system, and you need one. You definitely need one. Even friends will help out. Friends, you need one, dog. You have to. It's very important.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're listening to this and you're afraid you don't have that support system, I mean, I'm not going to be able to come out and help you watch your kid, but if you need somebody to talk to or you got to send a message, producer@dadbrainpod.com, we'll respond back. We're there for that. This is, we're here to include all the dads. So,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the point that you said there is like, people don't know that they need to help unless you kind of, reach out to them. And, just as simple as I made some connections here in Florida, even being here for 2 years, and we bring our baby daughter to the UFC fights, at my buddy's house on Saturday. And we didn't have to watch that child the whole entire night. They were passing that baby around.
Oh my God.
The baby, changing the baby. I'm like, we need to hang out more often, guys.
6 p.m. on Friday to about 11.
Hey,
It'll just be you guys and the baby.
What you guys doing Saturday evening?
You guys come over. Mom and I go in the other room for.
Oh, that's funny.
But obviously, this is a celebration of fatherhood and just parenting in general, really. What are some of those experiences that you had growing up that now you can share those with your children, right? Because I know Matt has talked a lot about he can't wait to put a gun in his kids' hands and go shoot animals. And I already took my daughter on a cruise when she was 10 weeks old. So I'm just curious if there's any of those experiences that you had as a child. You're like, oh man, we got to do this together, or something you may have already done.
Oh man. So for my upbringing, I didn't have those moments with my parents. Like we never went to Disney World. We never went to like an amusement park. It wasn't my highlight of my life. And when my parents did take me, it was cool. For having my kids now, the missing key that I wish my parents gave me was that really reassurance to guide me what I wanted to be when I grow up. My dad was very lenient. He never said thank you. He never said good job. It didn't bother us growing up because when you grow up in a Oriental house home, in a black house home, you have your mom is like Kim Jong Un, and your dad is just a body stander. So everything that she said goes right. In an Oriental house home, in an Asian house home, they're very honest. They're very blunt. They don't care. Oh, my son crying. Oh, he's teething now too.
Oh
Um,
man, I'm scared about that.
so I wish my dad and my mom gave me confidence. Just saying, you're doing a great job. I'm passing on to my daughter. I reassure her every day. I reassure my stepkids every day. Hey man, you're beautiful. You're smart. We do this. You ask my daughter, you ask my stepdaughter, what are three things that's important to you? No, what are three things you are? Smart, beautiful, and fearless. What's the two things that's important? You gotta make sure your mind and your heart. What's the number one thing that's important? Time. I wish that my dad and my mom taught me that. That's very important to me now. Is making sure that they're confident in themselves and who they become, and let no one tell you different who you are.
Yeah, because
So
I'm sure.
that's my jewel.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you learned that along the way,
Yeah,
but it's great that you're recognizing how powerful that is and how far that can carry you at
yeah,
even an early age. Whereas you had to wait till later in life to kind of build that
agree.
that credo. So that's pretty
Yep.
cool. Oh fuck! It is cold down here. Sorry, guys. And high too. So like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Sorry,
Oh,
you'll have to edit that.
So
that's so funny.
I want to get back to a little bit more of the comedy thing
Yeah,
because you've been doing it here now for what, almost 15 years at this point.
almost 15. Yes, sir. Yep.
So, what is kind of the goal that you have? Do you have like anything? We just interviewed an Austin, Texas comedian whose goal is to get on to Kill Tony, Tony
Hmm.
Hinchcliffe's comedy show. They do a minute and then they do an
Yeah.
interview. So he moved to Austin, Texas. Shout out to Chad O, specifically just to get on that show. So that's kind of like
Oh
his
wow.
comedic goal. Like,
Okay.
what are some of like your goals that you have kind of set? Because you say you're a very ambitious guy and you like doing things that or you don't like doing things that other people tell you to do. Like you
Yeah.
like carving your own path. So what does that path kind of looks like as you've progressed in your stand-up comedy career?
I always wanted to quit my job and go full time. We're almost there. We made a lot of good traction. To make that happen, I gotta find supplement income. Right. I make roughly $80,000 a year for working from home, and I probably make no more than I don't know. I work part time, so what, $15,000 a year, Dollar General. From doing your budget, doing to provide for your family and survive, I had to find supplement income that I could go full time, and that route is doing college. I used to do college. Me and my friend Trey Maddox, we did a 15 college tour to promote his special, which was on Amazon Prime. Blame it on Trey, and I hosted it, so I was part of the production. So when we dropped the special, we wanted to go on tour for college. That's where the money's at, right?
Really?
And that's where your fan base will grow for the next generation. You got to find
Oh, that's
something if
cool.
you want to if you want to do this full time, you got to find your income, right? You can go do Kill Tony. If you do well, and if you and Tony likes you, right? Or another comic in the crowd loves you and he picks you up. That opportunity could the opportunity can be at Kill Tony, but it could be in the crowd. It could be
Mm.
someone standing outside that heard about you. It could be someone that you met on an airplane. Your opportunity is not there. And I never put all my eggs in one basket because I truly believe the amount of energy that you put into what you love, it manifests itself. My goal is to provide for my family, right? We're almost, like I said, we're almost there. We're almost there. It just, we got to be more consistent. We got to drop more content, and we got to do submittal for these big colleges that we're trying to get into. It's where we could be a yearly thing.
I like that concept where you're the strategy of like not finding fans, but you're building them by going to the college and like indoctrinating them into your comedy. So that's pretty cool. Matt, we got to do like the Miss Rachel thing. We got to just make this a kids show.
You got to find your fan, man, and that's what's going to carry your whole career. And if he does well at Kill Tony, his fans going to remember him by Kill Tony, right? And that's your starting path for you to build your brand. My brand, we like, y'all got a brand. Y'all building it right now. I got a brand. We're all building to find our core fan that will support us and that will pay for us. Hey, man, Dad Brain, when y'all going on tour? Man, we're back on tour in 2 months. All right, we'll be there. Sold out theaters, sold out improv, sold out everything. That is the goal. It's to follow your brand, you're following, go pursue it, go full time so you quit your job.
This might be a weird question. There's not like any place I want to go with it. It's just, I'm curious about the answer. So you're talking about like your ideal place to do your stand-up where you're going to, build your brand with it. A lot of comedians right now are building their own comedy clubs and stuff like that. Like Rogan just built his. It doesn't even have to exist, but what's your like dream venue that you would do?
Or just your
like whether you're building the venue or if it's already there, like you just can't wait to go there and your goal is to get to that venue, or like some one that you make up that you think is your ideal venue. What would that be?
The venue that I would love to perform in, just to be off my bucket list, is a beautiful venue. Is the Chicago Theater in Chicago, Illinois. Oh, that'd be phenomenal theater I perform at. I would love to film my special there when I have 1 million followers. Because I'm in the process to film my first special next year, but we're doing it in Newport Richie at a bar coffee shop. I wanted to take the approach like Dave Chappelle when he filmed it at a coffee shop. I like the intimate surrounding environment. But once I get 1 million followers, I'm going to Chicago. I'm filming my second special in Chicago.
Just blowing out a packed theater.
Yeah. My God, I can't wait.
Coffee shop to the theater.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be an origin story, Like, hey, this guy was at a coffee shop. Now he's at a theater. Yes.
That's cool.
But if you're looking locally, I know we mentioned him so much on the podcast, but Cam Patterson.
Right? Oh, that's the homie. Yeah, my gosh.
Incredible, right? Just to see that rise. And I feel like I talk about every single podcast just because he was such a nice person to me.
Yes.
And I saw him at the Gimmick opening up for Uncle Laser. He killed it. Moved to Austin. Now he's a regular on Kill Tony.
Yes.
Man at the Comedy Mothership.
Yes.
I just, it's just so crazy to see like how like one of those interactions can really just take it off, right? But just to even see like Cam moved to Austin because he kind of exhausted everything that was in this area. But like in this area, what are some of like your favorite rooms? I know we talked about the Gimmick here in the beginning. But like, what
you're doing a ton of rooms. So
yeah, man.
It doesn't have to be local.
Yeah, so Tampa Improv is always going to be my home club. The Gimmick is such a good vibe, good room. They always got a great turnout. Sunshine Comedy Club in St. Pete is good. Snapper's good. Atlanta Comedy Theater is probably my favorite. Kansas City is my favorite. I'm working to become a regular out there. Kansas City Improv is my favorite. Orlando. Man, we did shows in New York, California. I used to work at the Ice House. That was a fun room in Pasadena.
Oh wow.
That's a big spot.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean the Comedy Store, I did 4 shows out there in the Belly Room. I met Tony Rock, Eric Shafir, you name it. I think, man, to give like a homie vibe, right? When I go to a comedy club and it gives me like I'm at home, there's so much good energy, so much good. It's always Tampa. It's always Ice House. It's always going to be the Gimmick, right? is always going to be there's some good rooms you love to go and perform because the crowd is always on fire. Always on fire. Man, I mean, I did a show in Georgia, such a dope room at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Man, in any room, when they come to laugh and they want to have a good time, that's my club. There's so many good rooms out there, and there's some shitty too as well. But
is there a way that you like vet these like? Is there a way you vet them like before you agree to go do a show there? Are you like checking out like reviews or recordings of other people doing their shows there to kind of vet it to make sure you're not going to, you know, a shit?
No, not at all, because it's our responsibility to control the crowd to make them have a good time, right? No, because it's always a challenge, right? And we step up to that challenge. Like comedians, we're arrogant. You know, oh, you ain't laughing? I'm gonna make you laugh all night. Like I'll spend an hour on that one crowd and it's sold out, right? We always look at that one person that don't laugh and he's like, man, I don't like this motherfucker. Like you ain't laughing one bit? Okay. Then you come out, hey man, you was funny. Well, motherfucker, you ain't laugh. You ain't move no mouth. But no, I don't do no research. I go there. My ritual is I go to rooms and I go there 2 hours early, just to talk to the staff, get the get the feel of the room. I'll walk on stage, I'll touch the mic, and I'll just kind of have a visual how the crowd's going to be. But nah, I think any room is a possibility to make it your own, if it's shitty or not. Like I've done show where it's 2 people. I've done show where it's thousands of people. Doesn't matter. Just have fun. That 2 people is a crowd to 1,000. You better give them the best show.
That's so important to realize too. And one thing that I wanted to just recognize as well is, Jacoby, obviously you have a much bigger platform than we have here at Dad Brain. So we really appreciate you, you know, actually responding to our messages. I can't tell you how many times that we've messaged people and, you know, just don't get that response quite yet. So for you,
dude,
who has this
not only
massive
did you respond, you went through all of our Instagram pages, liked all of our pictures.
Yeah,
that's fucking love, man.
I can't wait. I can't wait until y'all share me this video so I can post it. There's a lot of great content here, bro. A lot of great content.
Yeah, like all of a sudden my phone just went off. Like I got like 20 likes for you on every. I was like, what the fuck?
And it goes both ways. But the question that I had in there is, who are some of those comedians that you see kind of on the come up that you think our audience should possibly tap into? Obviously, they're going to tap into Jacoby Bruton after this conversation. But if you could like think of like 3 people that you're kind of close with that you see they're doing the right things, they're creating the content, and we can bring them some new followers.
Jerry Will, he's a young comic here in Tampa. He goes by Jerry Will 24 because he's 24. He's doing pretty good. Big shout out to him. DC813, young comic that's doing well. Amanda, I mean, there's a lot. I don't know if I can give you 3, to be honest. Amanda Hoffman is doing well. Gene is doing great. My homeboy Scoob in Newport Richie is doing great. My homeboy Daryl in Kentucky is doing amazing. Like there's so many funny comics that people don't know they exist because they don't have the following. I put money on these comics that I named that could take out any headliner that tours now.
Wow.
It's there. That's, man, I'll put $1 right now, dog, on every name that will outperform. Like Cam. Cam is an underdog, right? You didn't expect Cam to come out and blow out Kill Tony. He's like, I like rocks. I'm not retarded, but I like rocks, right?
Yeah.
But Cam is such a down to earth dude. I remember doing a show at Cam. I know we're off tangent. I did a show in Melbourne, and I saw Cam the first time. I heard about Cam. I went to Melbourne, my old stopping ground, just to go check out a mic. I was just driving through, coming from out of town, and I saw Cam, and I said, man, that dude's really funny. And I pulled him to the side. I said, hey, that joke you do has some similarity to someone. He's like, which one? I said, the joke about your dad. He's like, damn, really? I said, yeah. Erase it, delete it. It's a crack big joke that he does on Kill Tony. It does great now.
Yeah.
I never knew Cam was going to blow up. I just gave one advice. Funny dude. Now I'm looking like, damn, this dude blew the fuck up. Man, a lot of funny comics, man. There's a lot of funny people out there.
No,
Well, I think it's telling how good of a comic you are. The fact that you seem to be surrounded by just phenomenal comics too. Like, I mean, that's, they're not going to surround themselves with shitty comics either. So if they're bringing you into their circle and you're bringing them into your circle, that just shows how good of the comedy is.
Man.
No, it goes back to that saying, right? Like, you're the product of the 5 people that you interact with the most.
Agree.
And
Fuck, so much.
That's just so true.
Sorry, friends. Sorry to the people, to my 5 people.
It's okay. I'll put it on that.
That was funny. He said shit.
You were talking about that advice that you gave to Cam. Obviously, this is dad brain. Matt's about to become a dad. I'm starting on my parental journey here 13 weeks in. But we have kind of that whole entire range of fathers that listen to this podcast. What is that one takeaway that you want them to have from the Jacoby Bruton episode as we conclude for today?
Oh, my God. Don't stress. They're going to fall. They're going to get into stuff. They're going to get hurt. Don't stress about it. It's part of their life. It's part of their grow up. The ups and downs, the sadness, the happiness. Enjoy. Damn, I'll get teary-eyed again. Enjoy the moment you have, because as parents, because my mom had a stroke, and my dad's getting old, so you see their immortality is fading away. Spend every time with them. Never regret any moment. Say I love you every day. Even when they piss you off. Even when they do a great job, man. Just say I love you every day.
That's beautiful.
Say I love you every day.
Yeah, that's...
Sorry, man. I don't think we didn't mean to bring you on here to lay your soul open, man. But no, I mean, that's...
Yeah, my bad.
we asked that question of everybody. That, I mean, advice doesn't. I mean, that's some of the best advice we've gotten, honestly, if not the best.
It is, because, like you said, even in those moments where you're just at that point of frustration, right? I mean, even having a newborn, you can experience some of that frustration, but that person is depending on you.
Yeah.
Not just depending on you for kind of those tasks of, changing a diaper and feeding them. They're depending on you for that love, for that care, for, just that overall responsibility. And that's just a great reminder to our audience.
Yeah, my bad.
Those twos and give us some plugs, man.
Before we sign off, I mean, Jacoby, you talk about in your stand-up how, a lot of your comedy comes from you just being comfortable with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And, being proud of who you are. And, you're showing that right now. I mean, you're on, a podcast with nary 100 followers that are watching, you get emotional and, you're confident in that and you're doing the right thing. And it's awesome.
Thank you, man.
But you got to do me a favor before we end.
Mm-hmm.
You got to plug your shit. Let these guys know where to find you, what's going on. We love you. We love your content. I want these guys to explore it too.
I love y'all too, man. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Jacoby_Bruton, JACOBY_BRUTON. TikTok, same thing, Jacoby Bruton Comedy. Facebook, Jacoby Tyrone Bruton, government purpose. So I'm on Twitter too, dog. So make sure my Twitter's weird. It's Jacoby Bruton. Yeah, it's X now, right? So I'm on X. Is J Bruton 486. I don't know why. I don't know what 486 represent, but I'm on Twitter, YouTube. Check me out, Jacoby Bruton Comedy. Only 15 Minutes Podcast YouTube channel, and the Level Up Phase Podcast YouTube channel. And follow you guys. Support Brain Dad, man. I want to say thank you so much for having me. And I know we're trying to set up days, and I was just busy, and I wasn't trying to ignore y'all. I was like, oh shit, they emailed. I'm like 4 days late. And I was like, oh damn, they emailed me. Let me respond back. I didn't want to be a dick, but you guys approached me with genuine energy, and I loved it. And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely jump on. And I appreciate you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely.
Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Dad Brain. New episodes come out every Sunday. Don't miss any. Subscribe today wherever you listen to podcasts. While you are there, help spread the word about Dad Brain by leaving a rating and review. Can't get enough Dad Brain? Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Dad Brain Pod.